Yo, what up? This is Mike Brown, and this is The Art of Letting Go. Today, I have two special guests in the building. Both have been guests of the podcast. One being a guest at least, I want to say like 3 or 4 times. Another, he was our youngest guest. But would you both like introducing yourself to the listeners?
Yeah, I can start off first. So my name is Kolby. Dang, I don't know what to say. I'm a photographer. I do photography. I write. I do poetry. I'm an artist. And I'll be on Instagram. And I love food. That's it. I don't know what else to
say. That's perfect.
That's good. It's you. It's who you are right now. I love food too. I'm James Lott Jr. and I am many things. I'm James of all trades. I do many things. I am the owner and operator of an online network called JLJ Media. And I have over 35 shows and programs, audio and video to choose from. I also am a recording artist myself with at least 7 albums, 4 EPs, some songs with Mike. And a couple of soundtracks. And I have some new songs coming out this week, actually. I'm also an author of over 35 books. And I have 2 new books coming out next week. And they're 2. I'm also a professional organizer and certified life coach. I organize people's homes, garages, and closets. I also life coach people in their lives. I'm also a painter. I have some new paintings coming out soon. I'm a spoken word artist and poet myself. And I like food, too.
Oh wow.
the hardest working man in show business.
I definitely aspire to be that,
You can be. I started this late, so you can be. Anybody can do that. Well, a lot of people can do it. Not everybody can do it, but anybody can do it. It's fine. I don't have the magic to speak of anything. Anybody can do it.
I brought you both on the show because it's Black History Month, and I thought it would be dope to have a conversation with 3 Black men of 3 gay Black men. I have to stress that as well, of 3 different generations, because, I have my own experiences and I've shared my own, but I wanted to talk to you guys because Kolby, you're 22, right?
Yes, I'm 22. Yes, 22.
Yeah, and James,
I'll be 52 years old in a few months.
So that's a whole 30 years above Kolby. And I would love to just hear, we'll start with you guys' journeys of like.
How old are you? We could tell our ages. How old are you, Mike Brown?
I'm 34. I'll be 35 this year.
It's like all in the middle, so it's like 22, 30.
Yeah, yes. I was like,
wow.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wanted to start with you guys coming out journeys. Like, what was that like for you?
Dang, it's gonna be a therapy session. Hold on.
No. Let it out.
That was a lot. That was a lot for me. I'm still kind of like, dealing with that right now. It kind of just happened, like I think amongst a lot of other things that was going on, like in my past, like, like childhood trauma, things like that, it kind of just like opened up everything. And then like, that was just one thing that was kind of in it. And like, yeah, I just expressed that to my mom, and like, she was very concerned, but like, she was just very like overly supportive. Like, like she was just like, I love you regardless, but like, I'm scared at the same time, like I'm scared for you because, like, hear stories and stuff like that, like of things that go on, and she just knows what's up, so I was like, I'm gonna be safe, I'm gonna be cool, like, so it was just kind of like that. It was, it's crazy.
For me, let me give you a picture. It's the late 80s in South Central Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
Height of Okay. Height of gang activity, depression, Reagan era, and AIDS was rampant. AIDS was new. Gay men were dying around just everywhere. I remember my first job I ever worked at was the Hollywood YMCA. I worked as a day camp counselor in the back for my sister. All the front guys up front were gay. All the guys who ran the actual YMCA. And I was 15 years old, 16 years old, and I watched each of them die within a year.
Wow.
So, and I was starting to have feelings. I had a girlfriend at the time, so I was starting to have feelings that were not towards girls. And that was a scary thing. First of all, I'm a black man, black man comes from Caribbean descent.
Oh.
So very macho, machismo kind of idea. No one else in my family was gay that I knew of. I had somebody, I shouldn't out him now, but somebody in my family who I believe who still never come out. This person's in their 70s or 80s at the point. Wow. So there was no role model to do this at all, but it's also scary. Literally, everybody's lives were on the line. I had gay friends, and my brother had a gay godfather. So my mother was a hippie. We had no problem with having gays around, but they were dying. They were literally dying around us. And so I was like, I'm gonna get married, have children, do the regular thing, just keep going that direction. I was raised Catholic, so it was like all that guilt or whatever. It just wasn't a place to come out. It just really wasn't. I mean, literally, there were gang members. I knew gang members. It was like you didn't do that. You would get killed. There's no gay straight alliance. There was that was not. You could be discriminated for being gay still. I mean, it was completely. You could lose jobs, homes, could adopt children, nothing. So I was like, you're not everybody. Then I slept with someone who was a man. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what it feels like. Okay, got it. And I was interested heavily. But I kind of was going to echo a little bit of what Kolby said a little bit. My coming out journey was a years long process. It wasn't just one thing. And I was suddenly, okay, here I am. No, it was like, it took a while. It took several years because there are different types of coming out, right? Mm-hmm. Coming out at work, coming out at home, coming out with certain family members, coming out with a friend member 5 years later, may not even know you're gay. Like it's still, to this day, I'm still coming out to people. I mean, I'm in the public eye and I still come out to people who don't know. So for me, it's a lifelong process, but to kind of go with what you're saying in terms of the big kind of, here it goes, I almost got married. And a few weeks before the wedding, I said, no, I can't do this.
Wow.
And so
that's a lot.
Yeah, it was dramatic. So I am gay, I guess. And so then I left town. I went to Sacramento. My father was in the government, worked for Senator Diane Watson. He was like, "Come with me. I'll take care of you." My father and I had a bad relationship, but I thought here he is. He's going to take me in. So long story short, I came out to him. Basically, he didn't have a problem with it. That was one of the few things he had a problem with me. My mother took it a little harder. Mothers. She had gay friends and went to the discos in the 70s and all that. I knew it wasn't about me personally. It was about me, but it wasn't about me. It was just kind of like she knew as a young black man, you already have enough problems already. Like you said, your mother was concerned, Kolby. Same.
Yeah. That's exactly. I think that was her problem. Not her problem, but that's what was in her mind, and I think that's what she was battling. But like for me personally, I was just like, I don't think I was looking for it. I mean, I was looking for acceptance, but for me, it was just like I had to be honest with myself, and I think like it was just so much going on, like, and it was like, damn, I have to be honest with myself. I can't just like act like fake, because I had like I had a girlfriend and things like that, and it kind of didn't work out, and like it was just like I was being fake, like I wasn't being truthful with myself, because I knew that I liked men and things like that. And now that I'm kind of getting older and stuff like that, I'm just like, I'm still learning how to accept myself, and accept like who I am and things like that. But I know that it takes time, and like it's a journey. That's all I gotta say. It's a journey. Yeah.
It is, and it just takes there's little mini coming outs, but the major one was me leaving, not getting married. That was a big thing. So everybody was invited to the ring was bought, everything was it was completely this whole thing. It was like, oh, okay, so this is why he's doing it. Family started talking, rumors were saying there's a whole long story about that, but so I guess I would say 18, 19, 20, 21.
Yeah, that's same here. It was like 18 or 19. And like same thing, like my mom, she like it kind of just went through like the family and stuff, but I didn't really care. And like, a lot of my family was supportive and stuff. Like they didn't really care, like my aunties and stuff, my uncles. But my dad, I think it was a different story with my dad. It's kind of different. Yeah. That one's kind of rough because it's still like, we're not really on speaking terms and stuff right now. But yeah.
It's going to take some time, obviously. For them to find it. But for me, I know I left everybody, so I didn't stick around to see how they thought.
Yeah.
So I was more about I left, and I was trying to figure out my life at the same time. I went to college, I was trying to figure out my life. So I mean, wherever they felt, I'm only finding out things now, 30 years later, because I wasn't there. I don't know what they were thinking. I would hear rumors, but only a select few stayed in touch with me during that time period. The rest of them just stopped talking. I didn't know if it was mean or I had no idea because I left LA. I wasn't there, so I didn't get a chance to see any of that. But my father was openly like, "That's fine. You're gay. I don't care. Just get a job, go to school, do whatever." I was a nurse at the time, so just do all that. So that's what I did. But it was a coming out process. It was interesting.
Yeah. And you learn things and stuff too about yourself that you never really like knew, like you're supposed to act this certain way and you don't have to like act this certain way with like, I don't know, I guess dating and stuff like that. So yeah. I don't know what to say. But yeah,
I'm curious to know what you mean by you have to act a certain way.
Like as far as like I guess like being like this person, like how you see on the movies, like not saying that it's wrong or bad or anything, but like feminine men or men who are flamboyant, like, and that's fine, like I'm just not like that, but like I'm just going to accept how I am, like and the person that I am right now, that's it.
Yeah. I will elaborate on that because I know what you're talking about. So when I came out, there was no rule book. There was no precedent for me. So a lot of the guys that I met were the big queenie, basically drag queen guys, which again, I love them. We got on great. Right. I kept thinking, is that how it's supposed to be? If I get quite frank on your show, I don't know how frank I can get on your show.
Of course, you could definitely go there.
Okay, so I'll go there. So I was basically told you're a big old bottom because you're a black twink, because you're young and skinny, and that's what you have to be. And I thought that's what you're supposed to be. You just have to follow along to whatever these white gays were telling me, basically. I was in Sacramento. There were no black gays in Sacramento. So they were dictating to me what I was, and learning from them what I was supposed to be, the role I was falling into that. Until I met, and I love him to pieces, and I can almost start crying. His name was Tim Dolan. I want his name to be always remembered. He was the first only black gay man that I met who took me under his wing. He was a decade older than me. He was like in his 30s by the time I met him. We didn't do anything. It wasn't like that. He literally said, "James, I'm going to show you how to conduct yourself with these white gay men in Sacramento and how to keep your own identity."
Yeah.
Literally took me in under his wing. It was like, James, because everyone loved him. Everyone loved him. They loved him. They loved him. They loved him. They loved him. He was very beloved, and he knew how to carry himself. I saw him like, wow, he was fully himself. If we always call this, if he had big girl moments, he had his big girl moments. If he had his masculine moments, he had his masculine moments. Like he did him before that was even a phrase back then. So what Kolby's saying, I totally get. It's like, I was like, oh, I must be this way. No, he's like, don't let them tell you that. If you want to be, if you like football. Like this, and Mike likes basketball. Like if you want, you don't have to fall into the sissy stereotypes or all that kind of stuff they tell you to. You can be that way if you want to. That, like you said, that's fine. But if you don't find yourself that way, that's fine too. Like find who you are, and that all of it is beautiful, all of it is wonderful, all of it is fine. And so he taught me that, and then he died.
Wow.
He literally died of AIDS a year or two later.
Wow.
I saw him disintegrate in front of me. And that was the death that was the hardest for me. It took me a long time to get over that. Because he was so, but he told me, even when he was dying, he goes, you know, I started like you, came out and I slept with like 500 men the first year because I was all supposed to do that. It was the 70s, you know, he was like, this is what we did. You know, he's just like, it was,
Right.
they followed these trends. And he goes, but he learned after a while, someone took him in. You know how I feel, Mike, about that, the village thing. Someone took him in and said, no, Tim, this is how you could act who you are, whatever that is. Don't, just because society tells you or other black gays tell you or white gays, it doesn't matter. If you want to dress in a ball cap and a t-shirt or tank top, whatever, do whatever you want. And so what Kolby's saying, I totally get, because I was like, they're trying to push me into these categories. And you're like, well, am I supposed to be that way? Or I mean, or should I be super butch, or should I fall into that? Like what? I mean, what? Screw the roles. I hate in dating. My least favorite question is, are you a top or a bottom? I hate that question so much. It makes no difference. I mean, if you're on a sex date, that's different.
Right.
If the date is purely a hookup, then yes, you gotta get to the point. And what do you want? What we're gonna do? And that's it. But if you're talking about dating, anybody in a real relationship knows things change all the time in a relationship. And you make the rules together in a relationship. And maybe times you want to be reversed. So you might be just one time. Why does it fall into the label of I'm always this and that's it? Bugs the shit out of me.
Yeah. And I think for me, the roles kind of made my journey of being gay confusing, because I've probably known since third grade that I was attracted to guys. But being in the South and growing up in Houston, the only gay man I saw was a flamboyant man or somebody on TV. So to see that role like that, those actions tied to this word, I couldn't identify with it, you know. And then when I came out, now stepping into this world as who I've built myself to be today, it was like, you have to be this way, you have to dress this way, you have to do that. And I think I didn't really understand it until I kind of took you know, when you come out, you want to be immersed into this world, you want to feel a part of something. And I had to remove myself from it in order to understand, like, I could be me and be myself and be okay with that. And it's so crazy because I feel most seen as a gay Black man by heterosexual people.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. That's a very interesting statement.
Interesting. I never, you know, I think that's a process like within itself, how you have to just learn that, you know, like how you like where you can feel open and being yourself, you know, like that. So I'm still trying to find that way, you know, especially during this pandemic and stuff. Like, it's been hard to like really connect with people, like on just like a friendly, like a cool note, you know, like hanging out and stuff like that. So I think like I'm still like learning that process to like where I feel accepted. Yeah.
But it's one of those things. That you know, my generation, we weren't so heavily into labels in some ways. We were just kind of like, being gay meant being different, that you're allowed to not follow hetero norms or follow anybody's norms. You just do whatever you want. That was the kind of fun thing. I mean, you didn't have to get married. You didn't have to have kids. I mean, all this stuff that we didn't. It was like almost a secret society that we could be whatever we want and make up our rules. And now it's a little different. And I also want, you know, people to have marriage rights and all that kind of stuff and have kids. But it's kind of like but it just felt like we didn't have to conform. So now within our own community, why are we trying to make everybody conform within our community? Like why aren't we celebrating the differences? You know, someone wants to do drag, great. Someone wants to not do drag, great. We don't have to all watch RuPaul's Drag Race. You don't have to. You know, it's one of those things that, but if you do, it's fine. Like, who cares? But if you don't, who cares? You know, not like shamed into, you're not watching it. You're not really, well, give me your gay card. And I was like, no, that's not, you know. And for me, and I have no shame in saying this, I'm tired of white gays telling me what the standard is.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. I've been doing this for 30-something years. I'm tired of it. And them telling me dictating what the standard of what being gay is. Screw you. It's not. You don't get to dictate that. We get to dictate that ourselves.
That's so funny you say that, because I had a gay white person tell me what would make my show more appealing to gay black people, because he knew what gay black people were looking for. And you know, I asked how could he tell me what gay black people were looking for when I actually am that?
Yes.
Right.
He didn't have a response.
Of course not. It's like, how many white of you?
Yeah, I was gonna say I never really had experience with white gays. Just in my coming out process and exploring myself, I never really like interacted that much with them. It was just like always, on my own. I don't have no experiences with them. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm like,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Sorry. Good for you. I'm like, so fucking sorry. Like, hold up. I'm sorry for any discrimination against you. It's okay. It's quite okay. It can happen against you. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at that at all. I'm like, shit, that sounds okay. Right. I think my experience with white gays came from the lack of interest I was getting from like black and brown, men. So these white men were showing me attention, and it's funny. It's like a lot of the attention, once you start really paying attention to it doesn't feel that great. Like when I was young and insecure and not really feeling myself, it was exciting to like, have somebody into me and telling me how attractive I am, how beautiful I am. And as you mature, it's kind of like, that ain't enough. And you start realizing like, I don't have much in common with this person. This person doesn't have much conversation. We don't share anything except for like purely sexual. And it becomes like, for me, it was like, I need more than this. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I will be full disclosure. I am multiracial. I come from biracial people, and I'm multiracial. I'm a third white, basically. The DNA, I did DNA thing. Literally told me I'm a third white. Literally, all my markers are whites. I'm like, that's interesting. My kids and grandkids are white presenting. If anything, they're very light skinned. My siblings very light skinned. So I come from that whole thing. That's a whole other thing. The Creole stuff, and you know about that, my ground, Louisiana. It's a whole other thing too. But so I want to make that clear that I have a multiracial family. I had grandparents who are white. I mean, I love them very much. I have cousins who are white. I love them very much. But I was saying in the community, though, when I came out in Sacramento, basically, it was mostly a white community because it's the capital. And so a lot of folks that come from other places, yes, there are black folks in Sacramento, clearly, and Latino in Sacramento, but it wasn't a lot of them when I came out. It just wasn't. So like Mike, I went with whoever asked me out. Whoever gave me attention. I was also coming out of an abusive upbringing, and so I was looking for attention. I had no good male role models. So I was looking for attention, so I was going to wherever, and most of them were white. And it just kind of happened. But see, then I had a kid at 19. So then I started raising a child. So I lived in several worlds. Suddenly I was the gay guy with the kid. And now they didn't have, this is before they were having kids. So like my daughter grew up with all the gay men. She knows everybody. She was like the mascot. She was like the mascot. They all love Miss Monica. She was like the mascot. She was an easy baby to take care of too. But, and so I had a whole other life, because even when I moved to San Francisco in '93, I was 24, and finally age was starting to lift. The first cocktails were happening. People were starting to live a little bit. And so it was party city. When I was in San Francisco, we were going to Colossus and Pegasus and the Cafe and the Phoenix and all these places. And the Castro is huge. I still on the weekends would come to Sacramento to my daughter's tournaments and her swim meets, and I had like this dual life that everybody knew about. So that was very interesting for dating. That was very interesting too, because I'm like, well, actually, I have children. I have two daughters now, but I have children, and I said I have a whole. And they knew I was gay. I never hid that. Their mothers never, hidden or anything. On holidays, my boyfriend would come to the family, Thanksgivings and Christmases, and that wasn't a problem that I know of. But I never hid them from my daughter. And they just knew that they knew I was something. They didn't know the word gay until like that I was gay until maybe middle school. That's when my daughter finally asked me, "Because you're gay, right?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." And we all started laughing because we could think, "Well, you just know." I mean, but it was never a thought. It was just presented to them normally. Like it was kind of so her view. She's around Mike's age. She's just turned 32, and she's pregnant right now. My grandchild. She's going to raise her. She's very pro LGBTQIA. Just all very progressive because I raised her. Her mother and I raised her that way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the cycle was broken, so to speak, in a way.
That's cool. I have a question for you, James, and then I have a question for both of y'all. But the question for you is, how did you survive the AIDS era? And then the question for both of you is, how are you surviving the pandemic right now?
So a lot of folks my generation are saying we already went through a pandemic once, yet nobody cared. So I was a protester. So when I saw a protest, last year, I was so proud. I couldn't go out because of health reasons. But I would have, if I could have, I would have been out there. I believe in protest. I believe in camaraderie and community. So I was part of ACT UP Sacramento in the early years. I was part of that. I mean, I was out there. I mean, I saw so much death. I mean, I was so young and I saw so much death. I mean, I have a picture of there's 9 of us and only 2 of us are left. I watched every of the 7 die. And a lot of the guys who helped me out when I was just starting on my own, they gave me my first TVs and my first, I had nothing. After my father threw me out after a year, I had nothing and I had to start all over. And I got a place to live at least. And everybody in that building would have to be gay. It just happened to be this gay building on J and 22nd in Midtown. I drive by there, I go, oh, I have a soft spot for it because they all helped me. And oh my God, I was like crying. They really were there for me. And so I will never forget that. There was a real sense of community back then. And lesbians were coming up in droves helping out gay men. That had never happened before. Because they weren't getting it like we were. And that time period was very scary. It was a very scary time period, but I have a lot of great memories too at the same time, because we had to be resourceful. We couldn't, the government didn't even say the word AIDS until 87. And we already had, it started in 81.
Wow.
They didn't say nothing. We were fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting just to be recognized as human beings. And so that's kind of, I went to so many funerals. I went to so many, trying to help people out, going to community things and bringing food to people. I used to read stories to my friends because they lost their sight to AIDS. It was a death sentence back then. This wasn't a joke. And so I made so many friends and friends of the family members of the guys who died. We stayed friends to this day. We're still friends. They're like, James, you used to come and read those stories to him, and Jerry loved them when you read them to him. And it's just it was a really tough time. So I'm glad I made it because I didn't get positive, and I took care of myself as much as I could. And I was a nurse at the time. And I saw so many people so rude to their family members who were sick because they were gay. No other reason. Yeah. And it was really tough. But I did make it through as one of the few. And so the friends that I'm still friends with 30, 35 years later, we reminisce sometimes about our friends. Like my friend Tim, I was devastated when he died. And the treatment he got was just not fair. It was just not fair at all. So it was a really tough time. I don't know why I made it. I don't know why I didn't catch it. I don't know why I was chosen to still be here. I guess maybe to tell the story. Maybe I'm here to tell stories, which I have on many of my shows. But it was really tough. So thanks for asking that question. It was really tough.
I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, no, I just want to thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you for sharing that. I definitely want to. I can't have this conversation, without giving thanks to Mr. Sullivan. He kind of took me under my wing, like when I first came out and stuff, and just learning sex education and how serious it is, practicing safe sex and things like that. And so he really put me on hip to game, like as far as, you know, like just protecting yourself and just staying safe, you know. And so I'm so grateful to have had that type of support during that period of time, you know, when I was going through and that transition and stuff, you know, as far as like coming out and things like that. And yeah, I just try to, you know, as far as this pandemic, you know, you said like the importance of like community, and I feel like community is just so important, and just like uplifting each other, especially right now, like during these times. Um, it's just really important to uplift one another, and just stay connected, you know, like that's the most important thing, to stay connected, because it's so easy to just like die, say fuck all this, like I'm in my bubble, I'm good, you know, but it doesn't help the situation. So like I'm appreciative to be here and honored to speak with y'all. So thank y'all. Appreciate
Of
it.
course, I appreciate y'all being here. Like,
yeah,
and everything.
right.
But I'll tell you something. I for this pandemic, and Mike knows, I've known Mike, God, 1,000 years at this point, it seems like. I had some rough years before that. You know, I lost a brother who was gay. I had lost him to a heart attack. I was his last phone call. I want to get the phone call. I tell my family he died. My brother Max, my shout out to Max. His birthday was just recently, and I had a hard day. I mean, it's been 4 years, and still I miss him every day. He was the type of gay person who made everyone feel welcome, made everyone feel important. He was very popular in West Hollywood. Everyone knew him. I loved coming to LA and being his younger brother. I had no problem being just Max's brother. When he goes to San Francisco or Sacramento, he was James's brother. So it's like we both were like, they would call him James Lott Jr. South, and I'd be doing, you know. But Max was one of those people who was larger in life, and just everyone loved him. And we're seeing it when his funeral happened over here at Angeles. We'd had the actual funeral part first, and I was sitting with my mom, and we're looking around, and it was standing room only. It was so packed. And I said, and I looked at my mother, I go, "This is amazing. Like, this is what I hope people do for me if I die, if I had a funeral. Like, people from all of his stages of life, gay, church, straight, family. I mean, because he was so well loved. When they say come speak, they had to stop the speaking because there was so who wanted. It went on for hours. Yeah. And that to me was like, wow, he was a gay black man who had this impact on everyone. So it's possible that we can all have that. It just may take work and maneuvering and stuff like that. So his death was hard on me. And then a year later, I got Bell's palsy, a very severe case where my face was paralyzed for a year. So that kind of prepared me for the quarantine in a weird way, because I couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything, couldn't talk, couldn't do anything. So I was home most of that year, away from everybody. So then the pandemic hit, and I was like, okay, it's another year of some craziness. Okay, got it. And as Mike knows, what I decided to do was use my platform. I can't be outside. I can't be around other people. Well, I got an iMac. I got ring lights. I got a mouth. I got some people who think I'm somebody, I guess, an audience. So I said, I'm going to do this. So for the first 3 months of the pandemic, I did 5 interviews a day for 5 days a week. So 25 interviews a week I did. And I put out content. Mike was part of it. I know it's crazy. Crazy. But it kept. So the thing was, it gave me a schedule. It gave me a purpose, reason to live and not go crazy. Then I had one at 3, and one at 5, and one at 7. Then you got to prepare them and edit them and put them out. I mean, so I was busy. I mean, literally, it was like that was my busy time. And then on the weekends, I would go. Go outside my garden. It was all timed. And then I started meditating. I started meditating in April. Meditate ever since for an hour from 7 to 8 every morning. I meditate for an hour. And that really has changed my life also. And so those two things kept me going initially. And then this whole pandemic, I mean, as you said, I've been morphing and changing. Now I'm an online network, and I now have audio dramas, which Mike is a part of a couple of those. And I decided to turn it around. So community, right? So like you said, Kolby, I decided that I'm going to try to help other people. We're all sitting at home. The studios are closed. No one's working. So they're sitting at home, just probably feeling sorry for themselves. What if I give them an opportunity to actually act? or be on a podcast or be on a panel. So I used to start reaching out to everybody and saying, do a show with me. Come on in. I went on Craigslist, putting ads out. You're a newbie, non-union actor. Come on in. Let's have some fun. And right now I got 4 separate casts of people. Over 200 people now are underneath JLJ Media doing shows. And they're telling me, I mean, I had 2 guys last night tell me, and they're working together. Now people are working together. 2 people started a podcast. These folks doing this. And so I created this community thing, which I didn't expect to happen like that. Our group is funny. Our little group we do a lot of shows. That's really funny too. Everybody's fun. We have a great time. And they're telling me, James, in emails and letters, like, James, you changed my life. This is so great. I'm so glad to do something like this. I feel a part of something. You give me a chance. And that's what I want to do. I thought, I can't make it woe is me, poor pandemic, whatever. I got to turn around and just give it all to everybody else. And then hopefully I will be fed at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah. I think for me, cause dang, I just wanted to go in my bubble, and it's just I appreciate Mike, just offering me space, to just get out of my comfort zone, this right now, it's so out of my comfort zone. And I'm just grateful to have that type of person around who wants to see me grow and things like that. And yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Dang.
But yeah, you're so cute. No, man, I'm glad that you should be really proud of yourself that you are doing something that you're not used to doing. Yeah. A lot of folks would say no and not do it and stay in fear and live in fear and invite fear in. Fear is just unknown. That's all it is. It's just unknown stuff. Walk through it, then you'll know. Then it's known. I mean, all the time, you're not gonna know nothing until you know it. Right. So don't stop yourself or censor yourself. So you should be proud of yourself, Kolby. You're I don't normally do this. I don't know what's going on. I'm this young cute boy in Northern California, whatever. That's you're on here, you're working it out, and you're talking with us, and that you're sharing some of your experience, and you should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah, especially taking those steps at your age. I wish somebody would have put me on game at 22, 21 with some of the things I know now. So that's why I try to just share those tools, because it's not easy. It's not easy, especially when like I'm sure both of you said, you're the first, you're the only gay person that in your life at a time, so everybody may not understand your journey, and that's okay. So you may have to do the exploring and the digging yourself to really just keep finding more of yourself and learning more of yourself. So I'm proud of you, man, for the journey that you're taking, and I'm excited to see where it takes you.
Thank you.
Yes, because it's not going to happen overnight, and you have to understand that the learning never stops. And even for me, at 51, I was 52 years old, I'm still learning stuff about myself, even in not just even the regular realm, but even in the gay realm, I'm still figuring out, because you start, and Mike knows a little bit about this now. He's getting a little older. Those societal, you start to move into different phases in your life, where the partying isn't cute anymore. I would go to a friend of ours, Tony Moore, used to run all these things at Mickey's here in West Hollywood, and I would come to a couple of them, and I feel like the oldest person in the room sometimes, because they're like, "What's this old guy over there doing that?" It's fine. So. Because I was told, I remember when I was 22, 23, who's that? I did the same thing, shady as fuck. Who's that 50-year-old over there trying to dance or whatever? And I'm like, oh my God, that's me now. I'm shady, and I'm shady myself. I mean, I was like, hello, I did the same thing. I was like, I hope I'm not 45 on the dance floor at the club. I mean, that's so shady, James Lott Jr., when you were younger. And now I'm that 45, 52-year-old trying to get down, trying to get down to the latest song and body, all that stuff. I'm like, it's so funny how the phases change. They totally change. So you learn about yourself as they're changing. Going, oh, well, I'm still youthful. I should be able to still go to the club if I want to and dress, as long as I'm still myself. I'm not trying to be like anybody 22, but then also dating. Who do I date? What age range am I allowed to date now? James, you're going out with a 26-year-old. What's wrong with you? Well, I'm like, that person and I got along great. We have a lot of things in common. I understand the age difference, but I tried to date somebody 45, 50, and they're stuck in their ways. So it's a weird, that's going to shift too for you guys. You kind of figure out how that works also. So it's kind of, so you have a whole life ahead of you of stuff, of juicy stuff.
I'm curious to know, what is dating like for both of y'all right now? And not necessarily like pandemic, but I'm just saying like in the last year or two, what has dating been like?
Oh, I don't know. I felt like, like, I'm getting personal. Wow. Okay.
It's just us. No one's listening. It's just us two.
Yeah. I felt like, I felt like I was at this point where I was always trying to and I was always overextending myself to like, people who didn't appreciate me. And it was like, I'm done doing that, and I'm just at a point where I'm like, if we can't meet each other halfway and stuff, then I'm just going to protect my peace until, whatever's meant for me is meant for me, and that's just kind of where I'm at right now. And I haven't really had much experience either. So yeah. That's me.
That's the fun part. No, for me, I'm in the public eye. So here in LA, so when I try to go on some of the apps, they know who I am. People know who I am. It's a small world. Oh my, you're the guy from AfterBuzz TV. Oh my, you're the guy from like.
I'm just on here to.
I'm like, I loved you for 5 years. I'm like, that's kind of creepy. So, so I already have super fans or whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, they want me. So anyway, it just changes things because it's a small community and they kind of know who I am. So they already have a preconceived notion kind of who they think you are. And I mean, I am very much who I am, which you get for the most part anyway. But there are things that are a little different that I don't show on my TV shows. I don't show in my music. There are things I do there are things I hold for myself, for my personal life. It's very important to do that. You get in the public eye in any forum, you got to keep some stuff for yourself. And so I do. But LA is hard as fuck to date in this godforsaken place. It's like, if I see one more headshot and not a regular, if I see one more filter, and then for me, now I'm daddy, papa, daddy, poppy, whatever. I am now Gramps. I am the guy that they all want now because I'm older. And yes, I think I'm a handsome guy. I'm highly high myself. I think I'm good looking. And I think I look good for my age. And I get that all the time too. A lot of people don't guess my age. They think I'm in my late 30s. And I'll take that. Sure, I'll take that. But I've now been put into this category now. I'm daddy. So for me, a lot of it is, no, I already have children. I'm not going to finance you. I'm not. So I had a lot of that happening. But I do get a lot of hits. I mean, I do. I'm not to brag. I'm trying to brag or anything. I get a lot of hits, but it's more about me having, like you just said, Kolby, discerning which ones are really here for me,
right,
and not just want to take.
Yeah, because I felt like I see that, like just the apps in general, like you were saying, like just the apps, it's just the fetishization, of big people, fat dudes, and that whole smell. And it was just like, I felt like, I don't know, they just wanted one thing, and it was just like, they were going to try to do this to get this one thing. And I already kind of knew that, but it's just like, I'd rather find someone who like likes me for who I am, and yeah, that whole thing. Because dating really could be very
here's full disclosure. Mike and I met on an app. We didn't.
Kolby and I did also.
I was on that app. Yep.
Yeah. So we became instant friends. We didn't come out. I thought he's still cute. I think he's cute. But we just became, you're cute. But we became friends, and we started. Because we had a great conversation. We realized he's an artist too, and so that's how we met. Sometimes that happens too. And so I've met some great friends on some of the apps too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I met some really cool people on the app.
Me too.
I met one of my best friends on the app, actually.
Good.
He was, and I went to go visit him in Michigan. That was my partner. But yeah, one of my best friends, I met them on the app and stuff. And
it's great.
It's just crazy how you like connect with people, you know. But yeah, it's just crazy like connecting with people. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but 2 years ago in 2019, I had a boyfriend, and so we were together for 8 months, and he broke up with me because he was not fully out to his family. Latino, Mexican, firstborn son, taking care of his parents. He was having a rough time with it. And so, and it was funny because we broke up. My friends were like, fuck yeah. And I said, no, I said, actually, I understand. I mean, for this, I was heartbroken, but I understood where it was coming from. I remember telling him, I can't go back in the closet for you. This is fucking too late. And you got to figure that out. Because I don't want to be this hidden secret that, you know, every holiday I can't see you because you're with your family. And I said, we're not going to do that. I said, I'm just too old for that. I'm just not going to do that. But I wasn't mad at him, though. I understood that it's like coming, he was in his 20s. So it's like coming out right. You have to, you know, do that. And so he still calls me now every once in a while. He's like, he still likes me. I was like, are you out? Are you out yet? Are you out yet? Are you out yet? Well, you're not out yet. Nothing's going to happen. You know, that kind of thing. So I realized in the dating journey that as I get older, there's a lot. I've been dating since I was 15. There have been a lot of different people have a lot of different things going on that have nothing to do with you. It's their stuff. And it's what you choose how to be in it or not. And so there are a lot of times I'm like, I'm out. I don't hate you, not mad. I'm just out. I can't take that.
Right.
You have to learn that somehow. Because we'll take things on. Because I'm a very paternal person, so I'll take things on sometimes naturally.
Yeah.
No. You already raised children. Go away.
Yeah.
Take it on.
That empath energy.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, going into the pandemic, I was newly broken up. So I thought, I'll see how this goes. And so I've been trying for the last year. There's a couple of guys that we've been talking, but we've not met. Not gotten together. It's all text, video stuff, but we have not met in person. And I said to people, well, there's ways you can meet and social distance and whatever. So it's up to them. I mean, but I have a couple of guys kind of, you know, in my orbit. But but other than that, everybody else is just either very scary or they just don't care. It's them just coming over. No, I don't. Who the fuck are you? I don't know. I want to see the blood panel. I want to see. I want to see the COVID test results. I want to see. I'll take your temperature. I want to see all before you come to my house. That's not happening.
That's facts.
That's not happening. Because you're so eager. It's like, that's a little weird. You're so eager. Like, you're not worried at all. Like, I mean, that's kind of like, and it's running rampant through Black and brown communities. Like, hello, like, there's something. That's all the story, of course. I won't get in my soapbox on that. But it's like that. It's a little weird to me. The other ones who are a little cautious, I'll handle those. That's fine. You're a little cautious. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. But it's tough. It's tough. I mean, just in LA, period. I mean, Europe and Northern, but in LA, it is tough to connect with anybody genuinely.
Wow.
Tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Mike knows this. It's tough. And when you find one, you want to hold on to them because you're like, oh my God, you're a unicorn. I mean, you want to hold on to them. And sometimes it's a friendship thing, though. It's not even you're thinking, dang, I wish it was a relationship. But like, actually, like, here's a friend. You know, and because you can find good friendships here. You can. That part you still do. But it's that relationship one. I don't know why. I don't know why that's different. I don't know why. Mike, I don't know why.
I think because when people move to LA, they're coming for something. So a lot of people come for music, art, film. So you're essentially coming here to take something, and they kind of carry that into every situation that they go in. So it's like, what can I get out of dating this person? What can I get out of being friends with this person?
Right.
And I think as far as dating, like for me, I think friendship is a good foundational place to start. So like making friends with somebody is like, yeah, I can make a really good friend, but then, you know, if it builds to something else, that's great. If it doesn't, that's great too. Yeah. For me in dating, I'm not really pursuing it right now. When I first came out, I was kind of just in relationships, like in one relationship and then in another one, just because I didn't know how to be alone. And I was searching for this like acceptance. And my last relationship that I was in, I think it was exactly what I needed. Shout out to Eric, amazing person.
Oh, Eric, that's my Eric.
I got to put him out there.
Good.
Amazing person, and he really helped me in feeling what I was looking for, essentially, from a relationship. And like now that I felt that, it's kind of giving me the freedom to like pursue what I truly, want to pursue and what I moved here for. I had a lot of fear, especially tied to my sexuality, that tied to my creativity and just how I moved in the world. And being with this person that gave me so much freedom to like really be my whole self. Like now that I've been by myself for a while, it's like, man, I could be like, I've learned to be comfortable with the things that I learned with him by myself. So being by myself is like, I don't necessarily need that attachment to someone else that I thought I needed. And I am reaching more out to my community, like you guys mentioned, and finding those people that are like, if you just want to hang, just to hang, like, let's just hang or whatever, like, let's create together, let's go on a hike, let's do this, but I'm not in the space of like pursuing anyone or wanting to be pursued, because I'm so invested into, like I said, the last couple of years of coming out, I was, so focused on like wanting and needing to be in a relationship. And it's like, now that I have none of that and I can solely focus on my creativity, it's like, let me invest that much interest in what I'm doing and see where that takes me.
Well, see, now I'm at the age now where I want companionship, because now we're 50, after having a few health issues that scared the shit out of me. I have no grandparents left; they're dead. My parents are getting older. I'm part of, they call me part of the sandwich generation, because I have elderly parents and I have grown children and grandchildren. So it's like I'm in between somewhere. I'm kind of like trying to figure it out. And a lot of us are there. I know a lot of my friends were this age are like, so the mothers are dying, the fathers are dying, they're getting sick, right? We have to make decisions for them. My stepdad is 84, my mother's 70. I'm watching what's going on with them and their health. So for me, I actually am now really ready to settle down with somebody. I'd love to have somebody come around and be there for me and be there around me and help me just kind of handle all the stuff that I'm handling. I do everything myself. We're all self-sufficient guys. I don't have to prove to anybody I can do everything myself. But I would like to have somebody, to give me distractions.
I feel you. I definitely enjoy, in my past of being in relationships, I truly enjoy being in a relationship. I think just right now for me, it's like, especially like during the pandemic, it's been so like hard navigating my own feelings that I think adding somebody else's feelings on top of that would just stress me out completely.
I'll tell you something. Mike Brown and Kolby Hill, I'm gonna tell you something right now, and I have no shame in saying this. To tell the truth, shame the devil. I am tired of my hands. I'm tired of movies. I am tired of everything. I need somebody to lay on top of me or something. I don't know what's going on. It's been almost a year. It's like, it's like the craziest shit. I'm like, she's a cracker, because I'm a hugger. I'm a toucher. I'm one of those kind of people. I haven't hugged nobody.
Right.
This is why I'm like, again, give me a COVID test. Let's take a shower. Let's get everything ready. That's all I need right now. I'm like, I'm so over myself that I can't take it anymore. I'm like, fuck my hands, fuck everything else. I am ready for another person to take care of me. Jesus. It's like, oh my God. Like, oh, this is outrageous, people. I'm like, this is crazy. Usually, when it's self-imposed, when you choose not to do it, that's one thing. But the pandemic, like, totally everything changed March 17th last year. That was it, kids. That was it. James last year was tired. Young, spiral. I was like, I'm done.
Is hilarious.
That's real talk, folks. I'm telling you. It is. We're men. I'm a man.
Of course.
I'm not sexual. I'm a man. Sorry, everybody listen to this. I like to have sex, folks. I do. I'm sorry, I do. And I'm like, and it's different when you choose points in your life not to do it. I've had points in my life where I was like, no, thank you. Now it's fine. It was a choice. This choice taken out of my hands. God bless America. I said, the first time I do anything, I probably implode. Just all of a sudden, I'll be I'll be in a million pieces. I'll be James Lott Jr. everywhere. That's it. I'm sorry, anybody. So sorry. No,
That's hilarious.
I'm a big man too. So watch out. So,
that's hilarious.
That's real talk about dating and shit about the pandemic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As y'all get quiet, all of a sudden, I'll say it for everybody. I know how it is.
No, you're absolutely right. I think during the pandemic, I had to accept that I do truly enjoy sex, because I think it's one of those things, part of coming out and still working through my own feelings and stuff in the back of my mind subconsciously, like something about quote unquote gay sex still feels wrong. So I feel like I've never fully allowed myself to enjoy 100%. I've had spurts where I've like really enjoyed it, but like I'm accepting like, yeah, I do enjoy sex. I enjoy connecting and it feels good. And it's okay for this thing to feel good and not run from it or not feel shame about enjoying it,
Yeah.
That's real. That's real talk too.
The shame, like when you're encountering and experiencing stuff, like afterwards, yeah, you definitely could feel shame or you feel like guilt. I know at least I did, like, at the beginning stages, like it was a lot of guilt towards it. And like, yeah, I'm still trying to work through that too. Yeah.
I'm 34 and still working through it. So I understand.
Yeah. I didn't have that problem. When the first time I did it, it was like, everybody rejoice. Can you feel a brand new day? I felt the wind. It was almost the wind when I came out. I was just like, oh my God. It felt like it was like a puzzle, like the pieces fit suddenly.
Yeah.
Because I was having sex with women. And when you're like 17 years old, it's different when and you work it out. So so back then, so it wasn't bad. It was like I was fine. I enjoyed myself or whatever. Probably not fully like you're saying, but when this thing switched, it was like, there it is, and my body and mind clicked. It was like, there it is. But so it may take a few more years to fully get there. But after that, I was like, I'm in. I'm all in. And you're right, it's a process. And I didn't feel no guilt. It felt more like relief. It felt like, oh my goodness, I found it. I found it. And it was like relief.
I think for me, a lot of the guilt came from like, having sex with people I didn't feel connected to. Having sex with somebody I feel a connection with kind of releases all of that, and it's comfort and safety. I think that for me is something that's important, like to feel safe with this person and have this connection. And as I'm matured, it's like, yeah, I don't want to just have sex and then that be it. Like, I want to hang out with you before or after, and it doesn't have to be a relationship, but just like this connection,
And I feel like that's so pressured, like, just hooking up, like, well, nothing's wrong with hooking up,
at all.
Because that's like everybody do that, but I think like just like wanting connection and like, and being okay with like, okay, if I want connection with this person, then if it gets to that point, then boom, we can do that. Yep, so I think like, yeah.
Hope you have to get a step further.
Yeah.
I don't really mess around with white dudes anymore. I decided I'm going for black and brown, and that's my choice to do that, of course. And I said, okay, I want to see something reflected in me and you. I totally decided that. I'm like, wow. I was like, well, if you saw, of course, there's some white men out there. If they took on my fancy, yeah, I'll talk to them. I won't say no, but I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for guys who reflect what I see in me in them. And when I look at them, and when we're talking, the connection is not just the conversation; it's also the culture, it's also the color, it's also the nonverbal stuff that we say, it's our mannerisms, it's shorthand. If we see a situation, I have to explain to you the situation. You totally get it. There's no racial gaslighting. It's all just like, I see you. And then I also find you attractive also. Your brown skin, your big lips, your big nose, your nappy hair, whatever you want to call it. I think it's all beautiful. And so that to me is what I want to see more in my relationships when it comes to sex and love. I'm very much like, I'm very open about that. I mean, I want to be in love and have sex with someone. I mean, right now I don't have sex with anybody at the moment, but after that, a little weird year. But after that, I love being in love and having sex with someone I'm in love with. I think it's the best. You say it's free. It's the best feeling. You're open to anything. It's such a good feeling when you're really in love with that person. You look in their eyes, and you see everything I just said, and you're about to, join together in certain ways. I mean, I think there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Yeah. And also, I think because sometimes you could unconsciously attract people that isn't good for you, and people that just not good for you. And but how do you undo that? How do you undo attracting these people that doesn't serve you well, in a relationship and things like that? How do you undo those?
Number one, acknowledgement. You're acknowledging. Seriously, there are folks who blindly go to, I don't know why the 8th time didn't work. This 8th guy. I'm like, they're all the same. I know you. They're all the guys are the same. They just have different names. But no, acknowledgement seriously is the first step. I mean, I know it's a cliche thing to say, but it really is to know that you're attracted. Because I always say we call every single person into our lives, good, bad, and different. Doesn't matter what it is. And people get mad at me. I go, no, but seriously, we chose our parents, whether they're good, bad, or different. We chose. I was raped. He came into my life. I chose him into my life for a reason, for a lesson to learn from that. All my ex-boyfriends, girlfriends, kids, they were all called into my life. So when you start to see, Kolby, that these guys are not serving you in a way that's good for you or your self-esteem or for anything, note that. Don't rush under the table. Don't talk it off. Live in it and go, ooh, these last 3 guys I talked to were not good for me. The way they talked to me, the way they treated me, this is not good. And then try to really work on that and try to get people in your life that are good for you. And try to find other avenues. I can't tell you exactly where to go, but acknowledge the ones that you're calling in and go, why am I calling them in? Why am I acknowledging them? Why am I giving them breath in my life?
Yeah. I think acknowledging those feelings too, when you acknowledge it, recognizing, okay, if this is the pattern and I felt like this every time, do I want to feel like this again?
Right. Right. Because it could definitely, be a pattern and stuff like that. And I think just having those experiences, in a way, I appreciate those experiences because it's pushed me to more focusing on myself and my creativity and my work and my artwork and things like that. And that's just really been my focus lately, my photography and going to school and stuff like that. So I also haven't really had time to dive deep into those things because I've been so focused on my work and stuff. But I'm also just if something happens, I'm accepting it and I'm gonna be open to those things. So yeah.
Always try to find time to work on yourself. Because it will inform your work. It'll inform your schooling. It'll inform your artistry. I think we always almost forget to do that because we're always so I got this. I mean, trust me, you have to work on yourself. I do 10,000 things, but I meditate every single morning without fail for an hour. For the full hour. My phone is not on. This computer is not on. I have not checked Instagram. I do that. the habit. I have my phone on my bed. So, what's going on? What's going on Twitter?
It's so easy now. It's addicting.
It's so easy. It's so easy.
Yes.
You have to work on yourself. You have to always. You're your number one advocate. You have to work on yourself always, and that will actually help you in everything else in your life. That's my advice.
Thank you.
I agree.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
But whatever. I'm just like, that's my
I have a couple of more questions for y'all, and then I have another segment that we're gonna do. But what brings both of you joy right now?
I would say my work, my photography. Just, because it's like in your work, like I've just been so focused on that. Like that's what makes me happy right now. That's what brings me joy. That's what inspires me, like just photography and learning and, because it's like, especially in the creative realm, like it make you feel like, like what you're doing is not good enough, and social media makes you feel like what you're doing is not good enough, and it is, like anything you put out, anything you're working on is good, and I think like that's just really where my joy has been, and finding, like time for myself. Yeah, just making time for like trying to be happy. Yeah, trying to be happy. Yeah.
My joy is my garden. Everybody knows who knows I love my garden. Getting new plants, having a good time watching them grow. I mean, and I had my friend Phil Tech, a great guy, another coach. He said for his birthday every year, he doesn't want presents. He gives other people presents. And so I told him, bring me a plant, and I'll be the plant daddy for you. So he brought me a plant, and I give him pictures once a week of his plant. And he's very happy. And that brings me joy. It's like I'm doing something for somebody else. That brings me joy. So for me, bring me joy is to be able to help others. Like I said, Mike knows me. I'm always trying to, whether it's a repost of somebody's stuff, a reshare of someone's thing, a retweet of someone's thing, showing up to their thing, going to that performance, going to that online play, or spending $10 at least to get a ticket. That brings me joy. I'm not a saint or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that, but I just know that I like our community. I like helping other people, and that's all my friends and my friends of friends. I love to do that, and I bring do these shows, these audio dramas, and these podcasts, and talking to you and talking to everybody. That makes me happy because I feel like at least I'm doing something. I'm not just it's not just all about me. I'm a very strong personality, and yes, a lot of things should be about me. But I do like to give back, and whether it's a song or a movie or a book or a podcast or anything like this, a discussion, that brings me a lot of joy.
I think that's so like important, and I commend you for that. Because these times that we're in right now, like that's all we need, is just some type of like light and some type of inspiration. Like, it's so much going on right now, like so much, and just being able to share some type of positivity with somebody, it could mean the world to them, like that means the world to me. So yes, I appreciate that, y'all.
That's what's up. What is it like for both of you being gay Black men? Like, what does it mean to you to be a gay Black man?
I asked you a question once, like, what does it mean you be a Black man? They trying to throw it back on me now. I asked you and James Woods about that on one of the shows. Now you're going to be about being Black men. Okay, I see what you're doing. I see what's going on. For me, it means being a gay Black man means that I am still healing. I'm still working through stuff. I'm still trying to find my place in the world because I'm being told by everyone I should not be here. That I do not deserve anything that I'm getting. That's from every space. That's from Black folks, straight Black folks. That's from straight white folks. That's from gay white folks. That's from everybody. It doesn't matter. Black men in general have a lot being put on them these days from every direction. And then you add the gay part on there. And either we're invisible in some movements or we're vilified in others and demonized in others. And trust me, as a person in public eye, I see the comments sometimes. I'm called many names just for existing. And so for me, being a gay Black man means I'm still trying to heal, break through, and still really fully find my place in the world. I think I have my place in the world. I deserve to be here, and I should be here. I feel a sense of pride. I will admit I'm Black first. I will admit that. That's just my generation thing. They see Black first when they see gay. Being gay is a part of me, just like being left-handed and gap tooth, and and my hairstyles and everything. It's part of me. It's a very important part of me. But I know for me, Black is it's just more important because that's what I get treated. I get very little homophobia. I get mostly racism. So
I definitely agree with you with that. I'm definitely a Black man in this country first and foremost. And for like, it was crazy cool because like the school I was at, like, because I'm a part of like the Umoja program, like in community college and stuff. Okay. And like, it really opened my eyes to, like just my history and stuff, like about, who I am, like as a Black man. And I think that's me first and foremost. Now, as far as like my sexuality, I don't know yet. I'm just like, it's curiosity. It's still like curiosity. I'm still at that level, but I'm like, I'm just growing, learning to accept.
My thing is bringing the ancestors forward, bringing Marlon Riggs. You know who he is? Look him up. Bringing James Baldwin, bringing Andrew Rustin, bringing all these gay Black men who did really important work, even ones that are still around, like Patrick Ian Polk, all the stuff with Noah's Ark and all that. And there's a lot of gay Black men who did a lot of stuff. Bill T. Jones, wonderful dancer. I know his sister. There's some wonderful Black men. Robert Mapplethorpe, and also went that way. All the things that they spotlighted. John Basquiat and all them. They just spotlighted art. And spotlighted the Black and brown experience in urban areas. There are a lot of people that you want to mention who really did, the early rappers. There's a lot of people that were doing a lot of work and for Black men, period, and for art. And there are a lot of gay Black men who are part of that. Michael Bennett, a choreographer. There's a lot. I try to bring them with me when I do things or talk about things, or I may even spotlight them on a show. I've interviewed people like Thelma Houston and people in the business for a long time. I bring up the gay element. I make sure I bring that. You were in a disco, girl. Tell me all about it. And she told me all about it. My dad, when I interviewed Natalie Cole years ago, same thing. She about her gay hairdressers and dancers. And, I say the memory needs to continue. The memories need to continue. As gay Black men today, for those who don't know these names who are listening, who's Michael Bennett? Who Michael Jackson beat it? So just say that. Michael Peters was that. Michael Bennett was Chorus Line. So that's a lot of people. It's like you can look up these names. These are not just names. These are people, blood, flesh and blood people who advanced our society and made real big change, who don't get the notices they should get. So when I saw Tongues Untied by Marlon Riggs on PBS, that was a big deal because it was talking about the gay Black experience at that time period in the 80s and the 90s. It was like, this was something that I had never seen before. When I saw Paris is Burning, changed my life. Saw it in the theater. Totally changed my life. Seeing these Black and brown people voguing in New York, but it was much bigger than that. There was a family culture that they created where their other families didn't like them anymore. It's like seeing Pose. I love Pose. That's my time period. I'm like Billy Porter, MJ Rodriguez. They're all doing amazing work on that show. They're not forgetting their past. That's why I will always advocate for our ancestry, straight or gay Black folks, but especially gay Black folks. They were just as important to our history than anybody else.
Of course. James, my question for you is, what is one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
You'll survive. You will survive, James. There will always be ups and downs. You can't avoid them. You just can't. It's life. You can't avoid them. I was a pretty fearless person, so I always did things. But there were times when I had hopeless moments when I wanted to kill myself, like literally. And I guess I would tell myself back in the past, it's okay, James. There's gonna be some rough moments, some rough things gonna happen, but you're so strong, and you do have good people in your life. You will survive them. And you'll live to tell the stories about them, like I'm doing right now. That's what I'd tell my younger self.
Nice. Kolby, what is one reminder that you want to give to your future self?
Dang. Just to, like continue to heal and like continue to grow, I would say that just continue to heal, like healing is not an overnight process. It's longer than that, and just, to be more compassionate with myself, and not be so hard on myself, just be more compassionate and just continue to grow. And there's always a learning experience to everything, and share that wisdom with others. So yes, that's what I would say.
Don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself.
Yes.
Don't be hard on yourself. We can. We're the worst on ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Nice. And now the next segment of the show is sponsored by Feel Free to Feel Free. It's called 5 Questions of Freedom. So
I love James Wood. I love James Wood. I love you. Hear this. I
never heard of this book. I gotta look on Google. Hold on. It's called Feel Free to Feel Free.
I'll send you the link.
Okay.
That yoga dude, I'll send it to you. But yeah, amazing person as well. Best friend.
I love James.
So I'm gonna ask you guys 5 questions, and you answer them as fast as you possibly can. Okay. So if you guys are ready, I'll ask you first question.
Ready?
Ready. I'm ready.
Northern California or Southern California?
Southern.
Northern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beyonce or Rihanna?
Beyonce.
Okay. James Lott, what is your favorite creative medium that you work in?
Poetry.
You said
poetry.
Okay.
My favorite.
Nice. Kolby, if you weren't a photographer, what would you be?
Fast. Come on.
A painter.
Okay.
Go.
And for both of you, what makes you feel free?
Myself. Myself.
Yeah. Working out. I don't know.
Okay. Nice. Thank you guys so much. Can you please let the people know where they can find you?
You can find me on Instagram at _ KILIMA _ that is my photography page. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
You're going to repeat that to me after. I get that. I'm going to write that down. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Or you can follow me. I think you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. And it's also on TikTok. I'm James Lott Jr. on TikTok. And JLJ Media is my online network. Please, in all seriousness, I have a very diverse content. He's in the episode that's coming out in 2 weeks on February 6th. It's called Dinner at Mama's. It's getting good too. We have 3 episodes of that coming out so far. But go to any streaming service, JLJ Media, any outlet, and in YouTube, JLJ Media.
Thank you guys so much for being on the show. I really appreciate this. Thank you all for listening. This is Mike Brown, and this is The Art of Letting Go. Peace. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of The Art of Letting Go. If you like what you heard, please be sure to subscribe to us wherever you listen to this podcast and leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let other people know what you think as well. If you want to get in touch with us, hit us up on all social media at The Art of Letting Go Podcast. Also, you can send me an email, theartoflettinggopodcast@gmail.com, or give us a call. Leave a message. We might play it on the show. 213-394-2773. Also, if you would like to support The Art of Letting Go, we got some really cool merch, as well as we're now on Patreon. You can find us, The Art of Letting Go Podcast. Subscribe to us. Thank you guys for listening. This is Mike Brown, and this is The Art of Letting Go.